So this process of looking for career direction, looking for the work that you love, is not just a nuts and bolts process of going, gee, how do I get a job? It's a process of really doing life planning. Where's my life going? How does a career fit into that? And what are the kinds of careers that complement the kind of life that I want? What we have to be clear on is that doing things faster doesn't mean anything if you're going in the wrong direction. A lot of our time management principles are focused just on that, time management, how to do things more efficiently, how to do things quicker. But if you're in that car and you're headed toward New Orleans rather than Dallas, it doesn't matter if you're getting 30 miles per gallon and driving 80 miles an hour. You're going in the wrong direction. It's not going to get you where you want it to be. Another principle that we have to look at in evaluating careers is that we have to recognize that money is ultimately never enough compensation for doing a job. I've seen many people who are making substantial incomes, but they're saying there's something missing here. Am I on the right track? Am I really doing what I ought to do? Thomas Edison said the secret of success is focus of purpose. He was a master at focusing in on one thing, knowing that's what he wanted to accomplish, and devoting all of his time and energy to that one thing until it was actually fulfilled. We know that in anything that we invest our time in, there must be that sense of meaning, purpose, and accomplishment. Just because you have the ability to do something does not mean that it's well suited for you. Any job you have has to blend three things. I'll go through these carefully. It has to blend your skills and abilities, your personality traits, and your values, dreams, and passions. Just having the ability to do something does not mean that it's well suited for you. Again, I'll touch on these three areas and then talk about each one of them briefly. What we're looking for is a blending of your skills and abilities, number one. Your personality traits is number two, and your values, dreams, and passions is number three. Recently, I worked with an attorney, 51 years old, has been in practice for about 20 years, doing really very well. However, he feels like what he's doing in many instances, although it's legally correct, is compromising his own values, and that it probably doesn't help the people that he's working with to move in positive directions. Now, this is kind of like a car salesman trying to sell cars that he doesn't really believe are good value for the customer. Another example, I saw a surgeon not long ago. Again, he's been very, very successful, both professionally and financially, but he detests what he's doing. He's technically probably a genius at what he does, but the way that it requires him to relate to people is something that is really not suitable for him. Here we have a clear conflict between skills and abilities and personality traits. Another example, I worked with a gentleman who had 6 fast food franchises, all the same kind, here in the Nashville area. He came from a corporation where he was a CFO, Chief Financial Officer. In doing that, his responsibilities were very analytical, very detailed. He loved facts and figures. He loved profits and loss statements. He loved massaging the financial data around. That's what he does well. Now he happened to choose a business that requires probably 95% people skills. Hey guys, let's go out and do this. Motivate, hype, create a new plan of action, market, sell. Those are the kind of things required in the fast food industry. He hates that kind of process. He despises working with his managers, the people involvement and the people management that is required. And much more so, he detests working with a customer. So the combination of what he brings to the table and what's required in that industry has been a disaster. That's what we want to avoid. And that's what you can avoid if you understand yourself first before you move into a career direction. The real goal then is this: plan your work around the life you want rather than planning your life around your work. Now let me repeat that. We want to help you plan your work around the life you want rather than planning your life around your work. I know that might sound almost un-American, but that's a very, very basic principle here. It's simply a change in the frame of reference for the way most of us are trained to think. Instead of planning your life around your work, which most of us seem to do, you want to plan your work around your life. That's a major, major distinction, and it will give you a sense of empowerment, focus, and clarity for the future like few other things can. Viktor Frankl, who wrote the great book Man's Search for Meaning, says, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." So let's look at your own personal characteristics. You need to recognize that your career is not your life. It's simply one tool for a successful life. So we want to look at things that go beyond just the career. What about you? What is unique about you? You know the major question in life is not what you're getting, but what you're becoming. So you don't want to put all of your energies into one area. Be committed to achieving success in all of these areas. Career is one, social, financial, family, physical, personal development, spiritual. Anyone who sacrifices in any one of those areas for success in one of the others will ultimately suffer and not be a model that we want to imitate. I encourage you to set goals in each of these areas. Identify what you want to accomplish. Make it quantifiable so you can track your success toward that goal. Understanding your personal style will tell you more about where you will function successfully than knowing even your educational background.